Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 112 based on novel. So let's start. Occupy the Food Kingdom? Luo Feng smiled. I do have this plan. Upon hearing this, Lord Yushui immediately laughed and said, "Ha ha. Luo He, when you were in the first level of the God King, you are not afraid of Lord Kuan that day. Now that you have reached the second level of the God King, you are even better than the leader of the Qiankun Kingdom in many ways. If you occupy the Food Kingdom, I believe that other powerful people will not dare to fight for it." Luo Feng showed a little bit of the territory of a second-rate kingdom. With strength, everyone is qualified to occupy it. There is no rush. Luo Feng responded, the three kings of the Food Kingdom have just died. If I occupy the Food Kingdom immediately, I am afraid that it will attract the attention of the strong man in black robe and golden mask. Once he is dissatisfied, it will be terrible. Yes, that mysterious strong man killed the three kings of the Shi Kingdom at once, and he should have a grudge against the three kings of the Shi Kingdom. The leader of the Yushui Kingdom responded, now that all forces are also looking at the Shi Kingdom, it is indeed not suitable to take action now. Wait for a day, Luo Feng said. It would be a sign of respect for the mysterious power to start after 1 day. 1 day? I'm afraid there will be changes. Lord Yushui worried, such a large territory may attract other ancient god kings to take action. It is not easy to occupy such a large territory. Luo Feng was very confident and patient. He was the one who killed the three kings of the Food Kingdom. If he immediately takes over the Food Kingdom when the kings of Shi Kingdom were killed, it may increase suspicion. Luo Feng didn't know the detection methods of the two ancient countries. According to past intelligence, the two ancient countries were very capable of detecting the past and deducing secrets. They might have suspected him. Although Luo Feng was ready to be exposed. But it would be better if he could be exposed later. The later you are exposed, the deeper your accumulation will be. Dealing with danger is easier. I have redeemed the Special Inheritance, World Life Body, and Hunyuan Beast Body, for the second level chapter of the God King. I have to study it carefully and increase my accumulation. Luo Feng attaches great importance to the Special Inheritance. The Superior Inheritance, 8 Tribulations of Life, and Destroying 72 Swords, are still too simple for me. Only with some extremely difficult secret techniques in the Special Inheritance can you better hone your understanding. I don't know if the two ancient countries will find me. Luo Feng used the Star Tower to sense the 4 directions, sense the countless disciples in the Daohe sect, and sense the countless people in Huyang City. Even if he only relied on the 24-phase form of the world's life form, the transcendent God King level will, and numerous clones. Luo Feng has to be more careful in doing things, and might exchange a transcending God King level secret treasure from the infinite space to protect himself in the future. Without the Star Tower, he could barely compete with an emperor. Although he has the advantage of will, emperors usually have more than one secret treasure that surpasses the God King level. But there is the Star Tower. Luo Feng was calmly prepared to be exposed. The more Luo Feng studied the Star Tower, the more clearly he became aware of the terrifying power of the Star Tower. Within the territory of Thunder Ancient Kingdom. In an ancient hall, 3 figures sat down separately. I invited you two to come here today because I have something to ask for. A huge figure with silver-white hair sat there. Silver Moon God King, do you have something to ask of us? The other 2 figures were a little surprised. The silver-haired figure had deep eyes and said calmly, you also know that just now, the 3 kings of the Food Kingdom died. The strong man in black robes and golden mask was extremely powerful. If someone below the monarch meets him, it is estimated that neither of them had the strength to resist. These 2 strong men also knew the intelligence and knew how terrifying the murderer was. That strong man is far more powerful than us, and we cannot provoke him. The silver-haired figure said, but the food country is now ownerless, and it is a suitable opportunity to occupy it. Yin, you have to leave the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. The 2 strong men were surprised. Silver Moon God King, The Kaching God King of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom has served for a long time. I have never fully joined the Ancient Thunder Kingdom. The silver-haired figure said, I have worked diligently for them for a long time, but many troublesome tasks have been asked of me to do. My true body has been devoured by those madmen. More than once. There are 3 semi-out-of-control, monarch-level experts in the Ancient Thunder Kingdom. When they wake up, the Ancient Thunder Kingdom lets them out. They needed subordinates when they came out, and the royal and divine kings were all hiding, so only the Kaching Divine King was their subordinate. The Silver Moon God King is powerful enough, and he is also a guest minister. He has followed more than one semi-out-of-control monarch. When the monarch goes crazy, he will follow the desire of Hun Yuan bloodline and devour all living creatures around him. The Silver Moon God King had at least enough time to sustain himself for a moment or two, and he had enough time to come back through cultivation using the resurrection carrier. I've had enough. The silver-haired figure shook his head. I decided to take over the territory of the Food Kingdom and be free. I will no longer suffer in the Ancient Thunder Kingdom suffer. I also invite 2 friends. You are both good at clones. Each of you send a clone. I will give you 2 chaos states each. The 2 strong men looked at each other. Those who are good at clones are still very advantageous. There can even be many places to garrison. Okay. Okay. The 2 of them agreed readily. On the one hand, they each have 10 more Chaos State territories, and on the other hand, they are willing to be on good terms with the Silver Moon God King. The Silver Moon God King has served the semi-out-of-control monarch time and time again, which has also proved his strength from the side. His head-on fighting strength is comparable to that of the Lord Qiankun, but in terms of vitality, he is much stronger than the Lord Qiankun. When will we do it? The 2 strong men looked at the Silver Moon God King. As soon as the day breaks, take action. The Silver Moon God King looked at the outside world. Staying up all night can be regarded as respect for the mysterious and powerful man. When the 3 kings of the Food Kingdom died, the Skeleton Peak God King fled in fear. Tian, God King Liu you couldn't escape for a while, but she was too weak. No one in the origin continent looks down upon her. The food country is temporarily without an owner. There are now 135 chaos states in the food country. It is relatively large among second-rate countries, and such a large territory naturally attracts many overlord-level beings. The dark night passed and the sky gradually became bright. The king's capital was in turmoil. The practitioners in the king's capital were well informed. They knew that the 3 kings were dead, so they were naturally worried about a big fight. If a God King level confrontation affects them even slightly, they will all be wiped out. At this moment, they can only feel anxious and uneasy, and can only wait anxiously. Some practitioners also temporarily left the royal capital. Wow! An extremely huge figure appeared in the sky above the royal capital. It has silver-white hair all over its body and is so big that it is almost the same as the real body of Lord Qiankun. Its furry tail seems to extend to the end of the world. Its eyes are countless times bigger than the entire king's capital. From now on, the Food Kingdom will be renamed the Silver Moon Kingdom. The Silver Moon God King, as well as the Sea Demon God King and Tiani God King will rule the entire Silver Moon Kingdom together. The voice of this silver-haired figure was powerful, and it spread covering the entire territory of the food country. Behind this silver-haired figure, there are 2 other figures. One is a figure condensed by endless water, and the other is an illusory huge figure. Lord Qiankun spent a long time to occupy such a large territory. The Silver Moon God King wants to pick peaches, and his worries alone cannot deter him. That's why the Sea Demon God King and Tiani God King, who have clones, were brought in. The 3 of them join forces, and their deterrence will naturally be much greater. Ha ha ha, Silver Moon God King, you are a guest from the Thunder Ancient Kingdom, and you traveled across most of the origin continent to occupy the Food Kingdom. A laugh rang out. 2 figures came from the void. Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, and Tiani God King looked over. Hansen Kingdom is close to the Food Kingdom. A towering bald figure said coldly. The Food Kingdom should belong to our Hansen Kingdom. Lord of the Hansen Kingdom? Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, Tianyi God King didn't pay much attention to the Lord of Hansen. The Lord of Hansen was relatively mediocre in the second level of the God King. The only thing worth bragging about is that he and the leader of Qianmu Kingdom, Zimu God King, are life and death friends. I have already discussed this matter with Qianmu Kingdom, and Qianmu Kingdom also agrees. The bald figure said, "You three, leave quickly." Next to the bald figure was a man with black scales. This man with black scales had no expression on his face, but his presence made the Silver Moon God King and the other three extremely fearful. One of the 6 masters of the Destruction Legion. Lord Dark Sky. The 3 of them naturally knew each other. The most powerful person in Qianmu Kingdom is the Peak Realm Beast. The World Beast also gave birth to a huge army of destruction. The strength of the Legion of Destruction ranges from high to low, with the 6 highest beings. The strength of each lord is comparable to that of the Guishu Emperor and the Witch Heart God King. 6 lords, 18 generals, and 36 commanders. These are the God King level combat powers among the Legion of Destruction. Even the weakest Legion commander is considered to be at the extreme level of the first level of the God King. So what about Lord Dark Sky? Silver Moon God King sneered. If all 6 lords of your Legion of Destruction come together, I'll turn around and leave. But just you? Humph. He has served even semi-out-of-control monarchs. How could he be afraid of just the Lord of the Destruction Legion? The leader of the Hansen Kingdom is not strong enough. If he forces himself to occupy the Food Kingdom, he will suffer a backlash. The Sea Demon God King also said. Luo Feng originally planned to wait for a day before taking action, but who would have thought that as soon as daybreak, some strong people would be unable to hold on any longer. The Silver Moon God King took action with the Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, and Lord Dark Sky, Antian, who was led by Lord of Hansen to lead the Qianmu Kingdom's Destruction Legion, also showed up. Luo Feng nodded slightly. They all took action. It's only natural to take action. In an instant, 5 silver-clad Luo Feng acted simultaneously. Each silver-clothed Luo Feng has about 1% of the energy reserve of the World Life Body True Body. It is also equivalent to about 30% of the energy reserve of the perfect divine body. It is already very terrifying. If Luo Feng is the ultimate will of the God King, even if the Soul Foundation is strong, controlling these 5 clones, each clone can only exert 50% to 60% of its strength at most. But beyond the will of a God King, Luo Feng can still control his true body with ease. The inner world of each of these 5 clones can cover the territory of 50 to 60 chaos states centered on itself. However, the true form of the world's life form possessing the Lotus of Life can cover about 300 chaos states. At this moment, the power of the world has spread to every part of the Food Kingdom. Rumble tilde 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 tilde. The Food Country was completely enveloped. The power of the terrifying world spread everywhere, suppressing all directions. Naturally, it also suppressed the Silver Moon God King, the Sea Demon God King, and the Tianyi God King. It also suppressed the Hansen Kingdom Lord and the Antian Lord who leads the Destruction Legion. Huh? All 5 of them felt a mighty pressure suppressing them, and their expressions changed slightly. I am Luo He. All creatures within the scope of the power of the world felt trembling, and a mighty voice resounded through every city and every wilderness. From now on, the Shiguo will be under the leadership of my Daohe sect. You 5, do you have any opinions? 5 silver-clad Luo Feng appeared in the sky above the Shi Kingdom, looking at the 5 second-level God Kings in front of them. Luo He is so domineering? Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, Tianyi God King, Hansen Kingdom Lord, and Ian Lord, they were all a little confused. They are all at the second level of the God King, and also including a lord from the Legion of Destruction. The God King of Luoha didn't take them seriously at all. He actually wants to completely monopolize the entire territory of the Food Kingdom. He also asked the 5 of them if they had any objections. Luo He, you are too domineering, the leader of the Hansen Kingdom angrily shouted. He is a life-and-death friend of the Qianmu Kingdom's Purple-Wood God King. Most of the forces on the Origin continent have to give him some respect. The lords, Lord Antian, eyes were cold, just observing Luo Feng. Luo He God King, the five of us are here, but you want to monopolize the entire food kingdom. Isn't this too much? Silver Moon God King said, in my opinion, we can have a good discussion and divide the food kingdom. Each of the three parties will take a part. The Silver Moon God King has realized that something is wrong. Lord Dark Sky, Lord Antian, is already extremely powerful and represents the Legion of Destruction. Note, Antian meaning an, dark, Tien, sky, or heaven. Luo He was able to entangle the leader of the Qiankuan kingdom when he first became the God King. Now that he is in the second level of the God King, his strength is even more unpredictable. Silver Moon God King no longer expects to monopolize the food kingdom. Hansen Kingdom and Daohe sect are both neighbors of the food kingdom, and both have only one second-level God King. The 30 neighboring Chaos states belong to you. Silver Moon God King said, the rest Chaos state belongs to the second level of our 3 God Kings. There are 135 Chaos states. Luo He and I each occupy 30 Chaos states. You want to occupy 75? Lord Hansen laughed angrily. Yin, don't you think that's too beautiful? The average of the 3 of us at the second level of the God King is only 20 or 30 Chaos states, which is not much, the Silver Moon God King also said. Hansen Kingdom is already a second-rate country. If we get some Chaos states this time, it will be big enough. God King Tianyi said with a frown. I want at least 50 Chaos states. Lord Hansen said. When they reach the second level of the God King and can't help each other, they usually negotiate to decide on the distribution of benefits. Everyone. 5 silver-clad Luo Feng stood in the distance, looking at them. I made it very clear that the entire food kingdom belongs to our Daohe sect. There is no room for negotiation. The Silver Moon God King and Hansen Kingdom Lord, who had already begun negotiations, both looked at Luo Feng in shock. If you don't agree, the old rules will be decided by strength. Luo Feng looked at them. You can invite friends. I will send as many clones as you invite friends. It is guaranteed to be one-on-one. Arrogant. This Luo He, Silver Moon God King and Hansen Kingdom Lord were all shocked and furious. This Luo He is too much, trying to hog everything for himself. Not even a sip of soup for them. I'll give you 10 breaths of time to consider. If you don't leave, I'll take action. The 5 silver-clad Luo Fengs looked at them coldly. This confrontation in the Food Kingdom, where 5 God Kings at the second level of the God King gathered together to determine the ownership of the Food Kingdom, naturally attracted the attention of all forces in the origin continent. The leader of the Hansen Kingdom is so mediocre, it is not easy to protect his own kingdom. Are you still trying to occupy part of the Food Kingdom? Emperor Chu watched the battle from a distance. Yin has 2 helpers. Is he worthy of competing with my disciple? In terms of strength, in terms of deterrence, in terms of strength and background, his disciple Luo Feng surpassed the Lord of Hansen Kingdom and the Silver Moon God King. In Di Chu's view, with his disciple Luo Feng's strength, it was already too small to only occupy the 20 Chaos states. Taking over the territory of the Food Kingdom could only barely meet Luo Feng's strength. But this time, Luo He should be able to reveal some of his strength. Di Chu watched with a smile. The last time he released his sword light, he defeated an ordinary second-level God King. This proves that his level is extremely high. But it's obviously not his full strength. The disciple progressed too fast, and Di Chu didn't know exactly how strong his disciple was. Qian Kuan was killed, and his neighbors and the Silver Moon God King began to plot to seize his kingdom. Di Yang also saw this scene, and he naturally looked down upon the fight for the territory of the Food Kingdom. What Di Yang cares more about is the murderer of Qian Kuan. Everyone in the origin continent knows that Qian Kuan is following me. Di Yang's eyes were cold. The murderer didn't care about my face at all, and still killed Qian Kuan and the 3 of them. This murderer. Di Yang waved his hand, and in front of him, the image of a man in a black robe and a gold mask appeared. This man in a black robe and a gold mask had a profound aura, and contained great terror. Who are you? Di Yang frowned. Just seeing this image, Di Yang felt a huge threat. Fengdu, the being from the Shadow Heaven realm, the 5 Earth God Kings, the Fire Ancestor, and the Clan Master, none of them brought me such a threat. Di Yang observed. You are hidden very deep, but as long as you care about resources, and if you take action time to time again, you will eventually be exposed. Di Yang then continued to watch the battle. This Luo he is very talented. If he lets it go, he might become another clan master. Di Yang looked at this scene. It's a pity that Di Chu is protecting him, and Di Fu seems to be very optimistic about this Luo he. The Emperor Fu asked Luo Feng to guard Tianzhu realm, and his attitude was very clear. Di Fu, as a member of the royal family, he prefers idol practitioners. But Di Yang is hostile to all idol practitioners. Unfortunately, even the ancestors of the two countries have a certain degree of goodwill towards idol practitioners, and he cannot change it. Every powerful person on the origin continent, including the Queen of Fengdu, Emperor Guishu, King Wuxin, and the Lord of Yushui Kingdom who were close to Luo Feng, were all watching the battle. Even Chuying and Chuyu also used the Yangfeng Guild Hall to record the battle to watch this confrontation. I don't know how much strength my disciple will reveal this time. The mountain-sitting guest, Zhuoshan Ku, also watched with a smile with the help of the images recorded by the Thunder Chamber of Commerce. At this moment, invisible waves are already clashing in the high-altitude area around the Shukwa King's capital. The power of the world is suppressing all directions, but there are also forces from many fields such as destructive power, icy breath, and mighty water flow that are resisting. At this moment, the three of them, Silver Moon God King, Hansen Kingdom Lord, and Dark Sky Lord are all ready to fight. It's impossible for them to leave in despair after just a few words from Luo Feng. Luo he, let's divide the Food Kingdom together, it will be good for everyone. Silver Moon God King continued to speak. The time for 10 breaths is up. 5 silver-clad Luo Feng stretched out their hands at the same time, and a sword light appeared in their palms. This sword shines. At first glance, it looks completely black, but the edges are glowing with blue. The mixed whole never quenches the light. It was nurtured by Luo Feng's inner world. The stronger the inner world, the more sword light can be accumulated, and the 100 holes immortal light can be condensed to a higher level. After reaching the 24-phase form world life form, the inner world of the 5 clones has become much stronger at this moment. Although it is not as good as the real body, it has some characteristics of the ultimate life form. One can imagine the power of the immortal light in the mixed whole created by such a world inside the body. The three of them, the Silver Moon God King, the Hansen Kingdom Lord, and the Dark Sky Lord were instinctively frightened when they saw the 5 dark sword lights in the palms of Luo Feng's 5 clones. Go! 5 silver-clad Luo Feng released their swords at the same time. The moment the 5 jet black sword lights flew out, they had already touched the second level of the 5 God Kings. Too fast, there is no way to hide. The Lord of Hansen was split in 2 from the waist and abdomen in an instant, with a look of horror in his eyes. The light of this knife has become huge, and the first knife was instantly annihilated. Lord Hansen had a small reserve of half of his divine power, and continued to be cut with a flash of light. Wouldn't 2 more strikes kill me completely? Lord Hansen was so frightened that he immediately gave up his true body. His resurrection carrier far away in the Tianmu Kingdom had already awakened. The immortal light of the mixed whole. It pursues the goal of killing everything. While pursuing the ultimate edge, it is inferior in terms of erosion and annihilation. Generally, it requires multiple cuts and annihilations by the light of the knife to completely annihilate a body. This is also Luo Feng's kindness. The hole in the hole will not extinguish the light, cutting it again and again, giving the opponent enough time to use Resurrection Carrier. If it is a move like the Great Extinction style, it will destroy the God King who is too corrosive and whose physical body is too weak. In the second level, it is possible to be annihilated in one move, and there will be no time to reincarnate. After all, there is no need to be too ruthless just to compete for territory. What's more, Luo Feng has no plans to reveal the mass extinction style for the time being, and use his tyrannical body to perform it. Some ordinary moves are enough. Like the immortal light in the whole, it is also a fusion of the 5 branches, which is powerful enough. The Sea Demon God King is a body condensed by endless water, but a huge sword light cuts through it, and part of the water flow's divine power is instantly cut off. This makes the Sea Demon God King look horrified. With just one blow, my clone was destroyed. And I lost 20% of the divine power reserve? The Sea Demon God King was surprised. Although it was just an ordinary clone of him, Luo he only sent out a clone. Both are in the second level of the God King, and they also use their clones, so there is such a big difference. This spatula light is condensed from endless sword light. It has a terrifying energy reserve and has its own recovery ability. It is extremely fast and kills continuously. Is this sword light so terrifying? In the blink of an eye, the body of the Sea Demon King was completely annihilated. Yin Yu, Luo he is too strong, retreat. The real body of the Sea Demon King was far away in the field, and the voice was still transmitted from afar. The illusory figure of God King Qianni fled to a distance trillions of kilometers away the moment he was attacked. But the light of the sword chasing him caught up with the illusory body that passed by him again in a flash. Hoo. The illusory body of God King Qianni flashed again and again, which was extremely strange. But that flash of sword light completely locked onto him and kept chasing him. Yin Yu, retreat, this Luo is too scary. God King Qianni said in a message, I'll escape first. Immediately, the clone of God King Qianni, which had lost more than half of its divine power reserve, disappeared completely in a flash, completely leaving the surrounding vast territory. Luo Feng's immortal light in the mixed hole could not find its target. If Qianni God King takes the infinite origin Dao, and escapes from a long distance, the immortal light of the hole will not be able to lock it. The range covered by Luo Feng's world power is the range within which the immortal light of the Hun Cave can hunt down. Brother Hai's clone was destroyed, and Qianni's clone escaped. Silver Moon God King is actually his true body, and his huge true body is fighting against the terrifying light of the sword in front of him. This sword light can kill everything. Huge wounds were left on Yin Yu's body again and again, eroding and destroying the body of Yin Yu God King. But Silver Moon God King's wounds were healing quickly. This sword light? Lord Antian stood there, and the sword light struck the black scales on his body, only causing 1 or 2 black scales to shatter, but they were restored in an instant. Black mist rose around Lord Antian, trying to entangle the sword light. But the light of the sword moved much faster than the God King's. It was swift and unpredictable, cutting the body of the Dark Sky Lord crazily, with 1 or 2 scales breaking each time and then quickly healing. Now there are only 2 of you left. The 5 silver-clad Luo Feng looked at Lord Dark Sky and Silver Moon God King. Luo Feng also noticed the difference in strength. Lord Dark Sky is indeed the most terrifying existence of the Legion of Destruction. His own 100-hole immortal light is just tickling him. Silver Moon God King's strength is average, and he can't resist the immortal light of his own hole, but his body's vitality is extremely tenacious. Go? Luo Feng waved his hand. 5 jet black sword lights simultaneously attacked the Silver Moon God King. 5 of them are besieging me? The Silver Moon God King's expression changed. He couldn't block the swift and strange light of the sword, so he could only resist. And get beaten by 5 swords. This Luo he is not to be trifled with. The Silver Moon God King gritted his teeth and instantly turned into a stream of light and penetrated into the void. Even though he was attacked by 5 swords and dozens of knives in an instant, and his hair and blood were sprinkled in the sky, the Silver Moon Wolf King remained the same. And was forced to escape. He doesn't want it anymore, he doesn't want the territory of the Food Kingdom anymore. He can't hold onto his territory with the neighbor God King Luo. Lord Dark Sky, you are the only one left. The 5 silver-clad Luo Feng looked at the Silver Moon God King, smiled slightly, and all the 5 sword lights flew back and were taken into their bodies. This video will end here.